and Job here. Alright, tomorrow's a day of celebration, but we have to get through today first. Today is still special. Today is called Holy Saturday, the second to last day of Holy Week. Today is a day of reflection. Today we reflect on what just happened throughout this whole entire week and wait for tomorrow. We are reading from two short Bible passages today. The first one comes out of Matthew chapter 27 verses 62 through 66. It says, "The next day, the one after preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees went to Pilate. 'Sir,' they said, 'we remember when he was still alive that deceiver said, "After 3 days I will rise again." So give the order for the tomb to be made secure until the third day. Otherwise his disciples may come and steal the body and tell the people that he has been raised from the dead. This last deception will be worse than the first.' 'Take a guard,' Pilate answered. 'Make the tomb as secure as you know how.' So they went and made the tomb secure by putting a seal on the stone and placing a guard. And now the second Bible passage. The book of 1 Peter chapter 3 verses 17 through 22 say, "For it is better, if it is God's will, to suffer for doing good than for doing evil. For Christ also suffered once for sin, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. After being made alive, he went and made proclamation to the imprisoned spirits, to those who were disobedient long ago when God waited patiently in the days of Noah while the ark was being built. In it only a few, 8 in all, were saved through water. And this water symbolizes baptism that saves you now also. Not the removal of dirt from the body, but the pledge of a clear conscience before God. It saves you by the resurrection of Jesus Christ, who has gone into heaven and is at God's right hand, with angels, authorities, and powers in submission to him." Alright, the disciples locked themselves indoors, scared of what might become of them, according to the book of John chapter 20 verse 19. This day was the Sabbath day of the Passover. This day was a remembrance of when God freed Israel from slavery in Egypt. In turn, Jesus was sent to free mankind. Now we know that Jesus didn't stay dead, but you have to wonder why Jesus didn't just rise again that same day. Now here's where it gets a little interesting. According to Hebrew belief, the spirit of a person was said to leave the body after 3 days. The thought was that someone was truly and completely dead after 3 days. Also, if you look at the Apostles' Creed doctrine, which was written in the 4th century, Google it. The creed explains the beliefs of the early church. In the 5th phrase of the Latin creed it says he descended into hell. On the third day he rose again. Or some other denominations translated as he descended to the dead. On the third day he rose again. This idea came from the fact that Jesus came into this world to save it. In order to completely save the world from sin, sin had to be dealt with. God's gift of salvation demanded a payment for sin. The payment had to be death. The death of an innocent man named Jesus Christ. In the verse I just read, Jesus did this to bring us to God. So, as we go through today, let us focus on what mankind's salvation entailed and what Jesus had to go through. He really did die and was buried. Focus on the sacrifice Christ made for each one of us. God loved you so much that he sent his son Jesus to save you. Jesus died for you. He loves you that much. The Biblical Easter Story devotional is copyrighted March 2021 by Morgan Job. The background music for this segment is provided with paid license by audiojungle.net and audioblacks.com. Alright, tomorrow's the day of celebration. Alright, today is a day of celebration, but we have to get through tomorrow first. Alright, tomorrow's a day of celebration, but we have to get through today first. Today is called Holy Week. Today is called Holy Saturday, the second to last day of Holy Week. So give the order for the tomb to be made secure until the third day. So they went and made the tomb secure by putting a seal on the stone and placing a guard. After being made alive, he went and made proclamation to the imprisoned spirits, According to Hebrew belief, the spirit of a body. According to Hebrew belief, the spirit of a person was said to leave the body after 3 days. Or some other denominations translated as he descended into or some other denominations translated as he descended to the dead.